Assalamualaikum. My name is Athirah binti Nordin and my matrix number is B2021109771. So in this video, I will explain how to set up your computer and how to install the Windows 10 operating system. How to set up your computer hardware and install Windows 10. In this video, we will learn about the safety measure for computer hardware installation. Second, the introduction of computer hardware. Third, instruction on computer hardware setup. Fourth is the introduction of Windows 10 operating system. And lastly is explanation on Windows 10 installation. First, the safety measures for computer hardware installation. The safety measure for computer hardware installation is: first, wear proper apparel, avoid alcoholic or wool sweaters when working with electronic parts. Do not wear loose-fitting clothing, rings, bracelets, and more. Unplug all computer equipment and peripherals before opening any cover cases. Third, keep your work area clean and well-lit. Fourth is check for damaged parts. Fifth, do not force components into computer ports. 6. Use an anti-static strap or discharge yourself by touching a grounded metal object such as a computer casing. Next, power supplies produce several levels of voltage. Read the information on the power supply carefully and make sure that the power supply you are using is appropriate for the application. Replace all cases or coverings after inspection or installation. Check all circuit and installation with the instructor before power is applied. Retain all screws during disassembly in containers such as film canister for proper reassembly. Electronic components should never become hot. Hot components means that there is a problem with the circuit. Disconnect any power immediately. Second topic is the introduction of computer hardware. Personal computer hardware consists of the component devices that are the building blocks of the machine. These are typically installed into a computer case or attached to it by a cable. Hardware refers to the physical parts of the computer itself, including processor, motherboard, power supply, memory, drives, case, and peripherals. First, we start with CPU. What is CPU? CPU means Central Processing Unit. It is also called a central processor, main processor, or just processor. Is the electronic circuitry that executes instructions comprising a computer program. The CPU performs basic arithmetic, logic, controlling, and input-output operations specified by the instruction in the program. In this video, I choose Intel Core i9-11900K 3.5 GHz. This CPU is the latest and the price is ringgit 2,409 in Kuala Lumpur. You can get this CPU at Sri Computer Sendirian Berhad. Next, we learn about monitor. Monitor is a display screen that provides visual output from a computer, cable box, camera, or other video generating device. The two predominant screen technologies are LCD and OLED. See display standard: LCD or OLED, analog monitor, digital monitor, and flat panel display. I choose AOC monitor, which is 27 inch, IPS G-Sync HDMI plus DP 1MS144 Hz. This monitor price Ringgit 1,299 in Kuala Lumpur. You can also get this in Sri Computer Sendirian Berhad. Next, for the keyboard. A keyboard is for putting information including letters, words, and numbers into your computer. You press the individual buttons on the keyboard when you type. So here's I choose Razer Huntsman keyboard, which is the price is 617 ringgit in Kuala Lumpur. Lastly, a mouse. A computer mouse is a handheld hardware input device that controls the cursor in a GUI and can move and select text, icons, files, and folders. The function of mouse is move the mouse cursor, open or write a program, slide, drag and drop, hover, scroll, and perform other functions. So here I choose Gaming Freak RR for gaming mouse, and the price is 49 ringgit in Kuala Lumpur. Third, I will show the instructions on computer hardware setup. First step is ground yourself. Use an anti-static restart cable to prevent electrostatic discharge, which can be deadly to computer electronics. Alternatively, touch a large metal body like a radiator to discharge yourself. Second step is open the case, unscrew the side panel, or slide it toward the back of the case to do. Third step is install the power supply. Some cases come with the power supply already installed, while others will require you to purchase the power supply separately and install it yourself. Make sure that the power supply is installed in the suit. Step 4 is add components to the motherboard. This is usually easiest to do before you install the motherboard, as the case can limit your ability to wire components. Attach your RAM to the motherboard by finding the RAM slot and inserting the RAM appropriately. They should only fit one way. Step 5. Apply thermal paste to the processor if necessary. Put a small dot around the size of a grain of rice or a pea of thermal paste on the CPU. Adding too much thermal paste will create a mess, such as getting paste into the motherboard socket, which may short circuit component and decrease the motherboard's value if you plan to sell it later. Step 6 is attach the heatsink. This varies from heatsink to heatsink, so read the instruction for your processor. Most stock coolers attach directly over the processor and clip into the motherboard. Aftermarket heatsinks may have brackets that need to be attached underneath the motherboard. Skip this step if your processor has an installed heatsink. Step 7 is prepare your case. You may need to knock the plates out of the back of the case in order to fit your components into the correct position. If your case has separate shelving units to hold your hard drive, install the unit using the included screws. You may need to install and wire your case's fans before you can install any component. If so, follow your case's fan installation instruction. Step 8 is secure the motherboard. Once the standoffs are installed, place the motherboard in the case and push it up against the backplate. All of the backports should fit into the holes in the input-output backplate. Use the screws provided to secure the motherboard to the standoff through the shielded screw holes on the motherboard. Step 9 is plug in the case connector. These tend to be located together on the motherboard near the front of the case. The order in which these are connected will depend on which is easiest. Make sure that you connect the USB port, the power and reset switches, the LED power and hard drive light, and the audio cable. Your motherboard documentation will show you where on your motherboard these connectors attach. There is typically only one way that this connector can attach to the motherboard. Step 10 is install your hard drive. This process will vary slightly depending on your case, but should typically go as follows. Remove any front panels on the case if you are installing an optical drive. Step 12 is finish your computer assembly. Once you have placed and connected the various internal components for your computer. Part the introduction of Windows 10 operating system. Windows 10 is a major release of the Windows NT operating system developed by Microsoft. It is the successor to Windows 8.1, which was released nearly 2 years earlier. And Athirah was released to manufacturing on July 15, 2015, and broadly released for the general public on July 29, 2015. The initial release date was was on 29 July 2015. The default user interface is Windows Shell Graphical User Interface. The OS family is Microsoft Windows, and the original author is Microsoft Corporation. The developer is Microsoft Corporation, and the programming language that used is C++, C, C#, and assembly language. And the update method is Windows Update, Microsoft Store, and Windows Server Update Service. Next, I will show you how to install Windows 10 operating system step by step. Before we get into the installation walkthrough, it is worth noting that installing Windows 10 can be a lengthy process. Make sure you have enough time to wait it out. First, check your device meets the Windows 10 system requirement. CPU 1 GHz or faster processor, RAM 1 GB for Windows 10 32-bit or 2 GB for Windows 10 64-bit, storage 32 GB of space or more, GPU DirectX 9 compatible or later with WGGM 1.0 driver, display 800x600 resolution or higher. Second step is open the Download Windows 10 website in a browser. There, scroll to the Create Windows 10 Installation Media option and click Download Tool now. Step 3 is after the software downloads to your computer, run it and accept the license agreement. Step 4 on the What Do You Want to Do page, click Upgrade your PC now and then click Next. Next, on the Choose which media to use page, choose to burn the image to a USB flash drive and then click Next. The installation files will be copied to your USB flash drive. This will take a while. When it's done, take the USB drive and insert it into the computer you want to install Windows onto. For install the files, you need to change to the USB drives and start the computer and press the key to launch the BIOS control. This is usually done by pressing F1, F2, Escape or Delete as it starts. When the startup menu appears, find the boot control menu and ensure your computer is configured to boot from USB, then save the BIOS and exit. When the computer restarts, it should boot from the USB drive and automatically start the Windows 10 installation program. Now you can just follow the instruction to install Windows to your PC. You will need a license key to complete the Windows 10 setup, but you don't actually need it to get Windows up and running. If you don't have key yet, you can postpone entering the key until after the files are installed. Now, this is the process of installing Windows. When it is finished to install the Windows, the PC will automatically restart. Next, wait until the setup Windows is appeared. Next, complete the Windows 10 installation. Now the installer tool will guide you through the rest of the process. Just follow the steps to complete the installation process and you will have Windows 10 installed on your device at the end of it. Through this assignment, I was able to learn more about computers. I also found that I need a lot of training to be more proficient in computer installation. Finally, I am very thankful that I was able to complete my assignment within the stipulated period. Thank you.